Before looking at the rest of this video, you might want to do some questions. These are fine questions to do with hypothesis testing and categorical data. Just start off and maybe do your confidence interval as the maths in the middle. Eventually you'll have loads of options. Like, I'm going to send you loads of questions by probably a PowerPoint over the next few days, and it'll have loads of varieties of questions in it, and I'll send on solutions as well, as done in a variety of ways as well, because unless they specifically say something, you are allowed to choose kind of what type of maths that you do. My general thing is, if I can, I'll do a confidence interval. My next option is a Z-score, and as I said, p-value, which we haven't covered at all. I never do unless they make me specifically do it. So go and, before watching this video, just have a few practices, not just of the example 5.11. Go and do a few more and make sure that you're happy with them. Send me on questions if you have them by email, and then continue to watch this video. Because the next one I want to have a look at is this question here. So, manufacturer of batteries, here's a claim that they have a mean lifetime of 86 hours. So there's a mean lifetime of 86 hours. So they looked at loads of batteries, they got the length of time that they all last, and the average, and it's numerical data, so it's the mean, is 86 hours. So they're claiming that, like, mu is 86 hours. So I don't know whether to believe them or not. So I go off and I do a random sample of 200 batteries, and I find that they have a mean lifetime of 87.5. So that's my X bar. Just trying to write down the information here. Mu is a claim of, what do we say, 86 hours. And then the rest of the question is, they give me the standard deviation of 11. And does this provide evidence at a 5% level of significance? I'll come back to this in a second. That the batteries have a different lifetime to the claim of the manufacturer. So firstly, I'm going to do it by a Z-score. Usually when they say 95% level of significance, then I'll do it by a Z-score. I can do it by a confidence interval, but like I said, to be honest, with this type of data, with numerical data, it's actually easier to do a Z-score. So you need to go back now and do your steps. I have all my information there. I need to go and do my steps. So my null hypothesis, again, I need to nail down one statistic, and they have made their claim, and it happens to be the one statistic that's mentioned in the question, that mu is equal to 86 hours. And I would probably, if I have time, put in words, 86 hours is the average lifetime, or the mean lifetime of a battery. H1 is your alternative hypothesis. It's any other option besides the one option that you mention up here, and that mu is not 86 hours. We are going to do our maths. So Z-score this time. Now, the information that I have collected is on a sample. So if you're going to do a Z-score, it has to be a Z-score of a sample. So you go to your log tables, you get your formula for the Z-score of a sample, not mean, and we'll fill it in. And you have X bar minus mu. So do I have mu? Well, no, the closest thing that I have to it is their claim, 86, all over standard deviation, again 11, all over root n, which is 200. Isn't that what I did? I went along and I got a sample of 200 batteries. Throw that into your calculator and you end up with a z-score of 1.93. That's it, correct 2 decimal places. Now, what is the z-score that is related to a 95% confidence? Or 95% confidence is, the reverse of that is a 5% level of significance, kind of, they're linked. So if we're still talking about our 95% or our 5% level of significance, we had a look at this. What's the z-score linked to that? It's 1.96. So, the confidence interval and the z-scores are all linked. So does my z-score lie within the 95%? Does it lie within my interval? Yes, it does. Therefore, we fail to reject. So, it seems to lie within my interval in this situation. So my conclusion is that we fail to reject. The null hypothesis, or the claim that the batteries have a mean lifetime. So you can just write, we fail to reject the claim that the batteries have a mean lifetime of 86 hours. And you can say, I'm doing this at a 95% level of confidence, or you can use the words that they used at the start, which would be at a 5% level of significance. You just have to, in your conclusion, be very clear about the claim, the null hypothesis, the type of maths you did. That's why you talk about your 95% level of confidence or your 5% level of significance, whichever way you want to say it. So, and then, explain it in relation to the question. And again, you can do more questions on page, on exercise 5.4 and see how you get on. But as I said, I'll be sending on more examples in a PowerPoint anyway over the next few days. So just let me know if you have any questions.